Alrighty y'all, welcome back to yet another video. So here is my G20 330 and today we're going to be changing out the rear struts. This is a pretty common issue, especially if you have a higher mileage car. This car has almost 70,000 miles, and so usually around this time your shocks or even your front struts will fail. Luckily my fronts are still okay, but the rears are completely done for. So what we're going to be doing is changing out the rear shocks, and I'm also going to be doing an upgrade. So this is a new shock. This is a Bilstein B4, which is an OEM Plus style shock. And this is the original one. So this is the BMW one, and it doesn't rebound anymore. If you compress the piston, it just stays compressed. It should come back out, but it doesn't. Now I went ahead and actually done one side already. I did the passenger side rear off camera, just as a practice round. But then I'm gonna show you guys how to do the other side, which is pretty much the same process. They pretty much have the same length, same mounting structure and everything like that. Now there is a B6, which is an upside down shock, which is a little bit more firm, more sporty. And then you have the B8, which is also upside down, but a shorter length. And that one is designed for lowering springs. Now my car is actually lowered on H&R lowering springs, but that is also compatible with the B4s. The B6s, however, you can't run lowering springs because the way the geometry is, it just kind of throws everything off. But if you do want to get the B4s, they are compatible with lowering springs. The only modification you have to do is to cut the bump stops and make them a little bit shorter. I'm going to show you guys the whole entire process. It's pretty straightforward. All you need is a couple tools. You need 2 jacks, a bunch of sockets. Like always, I'll leave all the parts in the description below if you guys want to pick this one up. It's about $100, so it's pretty affordable. And it's a good way to just upgrade and, fix up your car. Now, one more thing to note about the B4s is that these are a little bit heavier, a little bit beefier compared to the stock one. This is very light. So this does offer slightly better dampening, a little bit more of a stiffer feel. So it does actually improve your handling, but honestly, for the most part, you shouldn't be able to notice too much because they are still an OEM style. Anyways, let's get the car jacked up and remove the rear wheel so we can get started on the suspension work. All right, so first things first is a little underbody tray that you want to get rid of, like a little cowl. There's 4 10mm. All right, now you do want to jack this part up, this little circular bit, to support the springs and the strut so it doesn't just fly right out. So yeah, just want to jack this up, and then we can take off these 2 bolts here. And after you take these 2 bolts out, this whole entire thing should drop open, giving you access to not only your springs, but also your strut. Now I'm gonna first go ahead and just disconnect this cable right here. Right here, you just pull it off because you don't want your strut dragging on this as it comes out. So you just wanna lightly jack up that little center point as a way to just kind of support the bottom control arm. Just lift it slightly. So 18 mil on this side. And now I'm gonna put another one on the other side just to kind of grip it. Okay, got that bolt out. Pull it out. Now we have to do the second one. I'm gonna use a 21 on the back side and then a 16 on the front side. All right, so this is what it's looking like right now. We took out this bolt over here, which looks like this, both ends. Now this bottom one tends to be a little bit more tricky. So as you can see, sometimes it gets stuck on this side where it doesn't want to come all the way through. If that happens, just take a hammer and hit it right here, and it'll basically come out on its own. And as you can see, it kind of backs out a little bit, and then eventually you should be able to pull this bolt straight out. There we go. And the springs kind of just sit free floating. And these are the H&R lowering springs. These were done a while ago, but anyways, let's slowly lower this jack. As you can see, it starts to separate, everything comes apart. And then just want to go all the way down. And you can stop it there. So you don't have to completely let this thing drop all the way, because if you let it drop all the way, that's when this comes out, which if that's what you're doing, if you're gonna be changing your springs, that's what you wanna do. I'll lower it all the way, unfold this, and this should drop out. We only need to take out 3 bolts, which are up top here. As you can see, 1 over there, 1 behind this lining. So we have 1 over here, as you can see. And on the back side, you have 2. So 1 on the inner side, and 1 up there. So now the size of those bolts are E12 star sockets, but if you don't have that, you can actually use a 10mm 12 points. So I'm just gonna lower this a little bit more. first I'm going to separate the bump stops. I'm just going to push down like so. That way we have more clearance to work with. On top, we have this rubber gasket. So kind of just pry that off using a flathead. Separate that, and that reveals the bolt underneath. If you're wearing latex gloves, which gives you more grip, you want to hold the actual bare metal rod and just impact it out. I think that's a little easier to do. Just like that. Remove the top portion and slide out your bump stop. I do want to trim this down a bit just to give it a little bit more clearance so it doesn't bottom out. Personally, I haven't actually experienced the bottoming out and never really bottomed out with the stock size, so to speak, but I am going to trim off right over here in this line and then insert it so it'll be a little shorter. So it cuts pretty easily because it's just foam. And now I can just kind of rip it just like that. And you can kind of clean off the edges here, so there's a little bit here that I want to cut off. All right, so here we have this shortened bump stop. And now this little bit here, this nub, you can just rip it off. Bam, all right. Get a little bit of an edge in there first. Then I'll get a screwdriver and just kind of shove it in manually. All right, there we go. The bump stop shortened now. Give it a nice twist, make sure it's good. Now we can prepare our new Bilstein shock. So up top, you want to remove the 17mm bolt that's on here. And there's a little washer which you want to keep on here. Now, what I've seen some people do is they connect the bump stop to the top part first, but I don't like doing that. I'm gonna just insert this and actually shove it all the way down, like that. So then we can take this top part, plop it on, take our new 17mm bolt, and then you're gonna tighten this the same way if you don't have the proper tools. Now, I like to take the bump stop and push it up, just like that. Fits in like a glove up top. All right, so now let's put our new Bilstein shock in the same way. I'm gonna loop it through the bottom here. Just kind of wiggle your way all the way up. Try not to get it caught in the wires. Right. Make sure you line it up with the top. And I'm just gonna snug them up, not super tight. Now I'm going to switch to the torque wrench, and you want to torque these down to only 28 Newton meters, so not too much. Okay. Now if your bump stop falls down, you can just kind of lift it back up, insert it up top. Now we can go ahead and retighten the bottom bolts. So if you look up top, we have all of that torqued down. Now to do the bottom bolts, you want to start raising your jack again to lift this up. But before we do that, you want to spin your shock around and get this tab positioned a little bit like that so that you can clip this in. I'm not gonna clip it in just yet because we are gonna be adjusting things. So you wanna kind of orient it in this kind of layout. Now you don't make sure that this lines up with the inner bolt. So you're gonna jack this up until these align, and then you can take this bolt and thread it through and tighten that down. And you might have to wiggle the strut a little bit because it does rotate. And then as you kind of finesse it, it'll get through to the other side. Now the process is the same with the other bolt that goes down over here, the one that's further out, but this has to line up with that bushing over there. So you have to raise this much higher and kind of wiggle it to get it in place. Bolt and thread it through and tighten that down. You might have to wiggle the strut a little bit because it does rotate. And then as you kind of finesse it, it'll get through to the other side. Now the process is the same with the other bolt that goes down over here, the one that's further out, but this has to line up with that bushing over there. So you have to raise this much higher and kind of wiggle it to get it in place. Alrighty guys, so this is the final product. I got the 2 bolts in. Took a little bit of effort, to be honest, because it wasn't lining up, so I had to use a pry bar. But once you get those 2 bottom bolts in, you are pretty much good to go, and you can put your wheel back on. So that is how you do it.